Thuja is just one of those herbs that just works. It's just a wicked little herb for its few things that it does. I mean, it's amazing. I put it in very low dose and I get incredible results. And it's all that antiviral activity. Tonsillitis, that's another one. So all of these upper respiratory, bronchitis, tonsillitis, and it's just going to help reduce that viral load and help sort out that viral load in our client. So it's well worth using. Hello and welcome. Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to your needs, the needs of the practicing natural therapist. With interviews, herbal discussions, something business and something clinical each week, you'll get the variety you need and enjoy to stay motivated in practice. Hello and welcome again to Mentoring with Geraldine, and I'm Geraldine, and I've got again the researcher from the Herbal Extract Company of Australia, Christine Thomas, with us. They're based in Sydney and they make the most beautiful extracts. The majority are 1-in-1s, which to herbalists really means something. Today we're going to be talking about Thuja occidentalis. And the thing with Thuja that I really want to point out is that there are contraindications, and please don't take this herb except under the supervision of a herbalist, okay? So it is a powerful herb. It's an amazing herb. It's been around a long time because it's a pine, and but there are definitely contraindications. So if you're a member of the public listening, please make sure that you make an appointment with your naturopath or herbalist before you take Thuja internally. You'll see it on the shelves and as creams and ointments, and we're going to talk about that. But please make sure that you are under the care of a naturopath or herbalist before you take Thuja internally. So, hey, Christine, thank you for joining us today. It's brilliant to have you back. So, tell us a bit about this Thuja, this amazing, because I think you've got some open there in front of you.
Yes, I do. So yes, as you said, I'm a researcher, so I have to add the caveat that I'm not a practicing naturopath. I have practiced, but I do the research, so I spend my life doing a lot of reading and interpreting of studies and looking into the traditional use. So it's not a herb I've had a lot of personal use. I'm not that familiar with, but I have done a bit of research into it. But I'll show you. So this is our raw material here. So its common name is Arbor Vitae, or tree of life.
Right.
And it's a popular landscaping tree. So you probably see it around just on your walks and things like that, if you're allowed to walk around. And you can see it's sort of like a cedar. Another name for it is white cedar. So it has the sort of cedar leaves.
Spiny leaves, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that in the picture.
Yep.
But I wish you could smell what I could smell, because it has this beautiful piney scent to it, really clean, because we use the leaves, obviously, as you've just seen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just pour some into this beaker so you can see. Just got to try and get that right.
Oh, wow. So it completely changes from the brown of the tincture to its
slight green tinge there.
Slight green tinge. It's got that very brown. You can see it on the walls of the glass when you're swirling, and and that's quite dark, isn't it? And it did go through a very cloudy change when it mixed in with the water. So it's a very strong. I call it a strong herb, and that we only need very low doses to achieve what we want to achieve with Thuja. So and you can tell that resiny, piney smell that you're getting, that we're imagining. Is what's really, all that aroma is really supporting how that herb works.
Beautiful volatile oils.
Oh, those volatile oils.
And
I wish I could smell it right now.
Yeah, it's very uplifting. And it's immunomodulating. I think that's its most one of it. Well, immunomodulating and antiviral, I guess, are its probably two main well-known actions.
Yep.
And when I was researching it, the study, it's not really that recent. There's not a lot of research has been done on Thuja, but there was a review done on its clinical properties and pharmacological properties in 2005,
Right.
a while ago. But they were saying that it combines well with echinacea and wild indigo or baptisia.
Yep.
In acute and chronic infections.
Right.
So especially of the upper respiratory tract. So again, a useful one in the for sinusitis and hay fever, changing of the seasons, and also during the cold and flu season.
Yeah.
And also they actually said it can be used as an adjuvant with antibiotics.
Wow.
So that was good to know. And in severe bacterial infections, and they listed bronchitis, they called it angina, but which is actually a type of tonsillitis.
Oh.
Pharyngitis, otitis media, and sinusitis.
So laryngitis.
Yeah, so that was that. But with the antiviral action, I think that's where a lot of naturopaths and herbalists know it for its use with warts.
Yep.
That famous one for kids with warts. You put it on for the warts. And also molluscum contagiosum. I've never heard of until I had children.
Yeah.
It goes around all the daycares and they get those hard little white lumps that last forever. So it's useful on those too.
Yeah. With the molluscum. So molluscum has, so it's a wart virus, and the majority of us have come across it in childhood. So in the childcare centres, of course, there's a moist atmosphere and the kids are all touching each other. They're all up close. And so with the Thuja cream that you can buy, or as herbalists we all make for our clients, it actually stops it replicating. So this virus, the molluscum, can last for around 18 months to over 2 years, 3 years, is about approximately, because everybody's different, the life cycle of molluscum. But when you use the Thuja, it speeds up that replication, and it reduces the redness. It stops them bursting open. The child becomes less infectious. And so what I've always found when I've prescribed it or I've suggested to people they have it is that the child will go through a pot and a half on their molluscum. It's only ever a pot and a half. You'd never do 2 rounded pots or 1 rounded pot. It's always a pot and a half, and you're always left over with half a pot. But it reduces all that redness, and so that makes it less obvious, less worrying, but it means they don't burst open, and so they're not infectious. So it's absolutely brilliant for the molluscum and for placing on directly on the warts. So and for plantar warts as well. So don't forget, an older child who's at the swimming pool, they're going to be getting those on the base of the feet from the swimming. And they can be in charge of their own cream, putting it on, and that plantar wart will go away. It's absolutely brilliant stuff. But there are contraindications with it for taking it internally. And we have to be very aware of that so that it's not given to anyone who is pregnant or breastfeeding. So Thuja, let's get back to the herb. Thuja is... it's amazing. I put it in very low dose and I get incredible results internally. I don't use it that much because it's not that brilliant tasting. But hopefully the smell would compensate for some of the taste, perhaps. So it's in, we do use it for female reproductive as well, which is why it can't be used in pregnancy and lactation. So, but it's really good for the throat, and we could do it as a spray. The other thing with Thuja, you can pop them on ulcers and warts inside the mouth. Thuja will help just dry that up and make it go away. And cold sores, yeah. So you can really just, all those surface things, that antiviral activity is just amazing, but it is very low dose. And it's an immune stimulant. I didn't realize it was immune stimulating.
Well, yeah, I'd say probably more modulating in the sense of balancing.
Yeah.
I'd say, not because sometimes stimulating, it can stimulate too much, but it just has that more balancing effect. And that's why it goes well with echinacea.
Yes.
And baptisia.
Yeah.
But with the women, the it seems to have this cyst reducing action.
Right.
So in polycystic ovarian syndrome and fibroids, seems to help shrink. But as you said, contraindicated in pregnancy because it has an emmenagogic action.
Yep.
So you can use that action to your benefit by helping bring on late periods if you know the reason why the periods are late.
Yeah. Yeah, because the last thing we want is to cause any problems in the pregnancy. I mean, and with pregnancy, we really avoid taking anything anyway. If your client is pregnant, you're really working in the realm of foods. So we don't really want to be giving them any supplements particularly, unless they really need something, unless it's what's required at that point in the pregnancy. And the herbs generally, you know, we might be needing iron herbs, you know, that support their iron absorption. But overall, we're not giving out herbs during pregnancy, alcoholic herbs in pregnancy as a big thing. But but Thuja is just one of those herbs that just works. It's just a wicked little herb for its few things that it does. I have it in my dispensary. I've always had it in my dispensary, and I do use small and low dose. I use it at a very low dose. I wouldn't be putting a large dose of Thuja in anything. If, you know, 200 mils, I really wouldn't be putting much in that bottle. And we do talk about dosages in the academy. So that will be in the follow-up case studies, but for practitioners. But out for any of the general public listening, it's the cream that you're really interested in for those warts, for molluscum. So it's antiviral, and it's antiviral activity. For the practitioner, yeah, we know that. We've been using it like that for a long time, and we can make it. You know, practitioners, we make creams. We all have cream base in our office, and we have the tincture there. So it's often actually easier if you have got a naturopath, so that you can go to your naturopath than it is trying to find a health food shop, because they can make it up on the spot for you. And it's just the most beautiful herb. And as you've just said, it's the most beautiful smelling herb as well. And it just works. It's fabulous. So, and it's all that antiviral activity. Tonsillitis, that's another one. So all of these upper respiratory, bronchitis, tonsillitis, and it's just going to help reduce that viral load and help sort out that viral load in our client. So it's well worth using. So have you got anything else that we needed to add to that one?
Well, no, that was all I came up with in my research. But yeah, just funny knowing that you probably walk past it every day on your walk in someone's garden and you don't even know that that's just their medicine in your backyard.
It's great when we have ones like that, you know, the white cedar and the smell, the pine. There's lots of different pines doing lots of good things for us. And, you know, lots of them have antioxidants and lots of them are anti-aging, and they all have these amazing qualities. And one of Thuja's major quality is that it's antiviral. So it's very much a medicine, and a medicine for those viruses on the skin, as well as those upper respiratory and throat issues. So, please, if you're a member of the public, make sure that you have a practitioner, and this is general information only. But thank you so much for listening. And Christine, thank you so much for coming on again. It's wonderful to have you here. And every time I speak to you, I learn something new. It's amazing having the researchers out there to support us in practice is absolutely brilliant. And thank you to the Herbal Extract Company of Australia for having us in again. It's been brilliant. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Okay, bye.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.